The Terra Luna Classic ecosystem just received some major updates from the L1 task force with both Ed Kim and Zardar. This occurred just about 24 hours ago. Demon Monkey hosted a space for the L1 task force for the monthly AMA. Now this was over a 2-hour-long AMA, but lucky for you guys, I made a thread summarizing what happened, and we're also going to go over that today in this video. Okay, first and most importantly, the Q1 plan is on schedule and in budget. So they're going to be within the budget, and they're on schedule to complete everything that was originally highlighted for the L1 task force. Now the second thing, this was just kind of funny. I thought it was a fun little thing. Zardar said that he hung up on his mom because we are more important, so love to him. We definitely thought that was a nice little funny touch. Now, the third major update is something that's a little bit big that we need to kind of break down and simplify here. We're moving closer to parity, which means that utilities will be able to come to the Terra Luna Classic ecosystem and really only need to adjust for our on-chain tax that other ecosystems do not have. Otherwise, functionality for these different utilities, smart contracts, those kind of things should be basically identical. That means that if they want to come from an example like this would be when you're talking about driving on a road, right? If you're driving on the road, if you're driving on the right-hand side, if your country does that, but then you go to another country that drives on the left-hand side, everything is totally different. It's a total mess. You have to relearn how to do everything. It's difficult, right? But if you go from a country that drives on the right-hand side to another country that drives on the right-hand side, well, that's really easy to make that transition. That's basically what we're talking about here for these utilities, making it as easy as possible for them to integrate and come from their current existing platforms to our Terra Luna Classic platform. Now, the fourth thing has to do with the tax whitelist. If you're not aware, Binance requested that we whitelist all their wallets from the on-chain transaction tax, that 0.2% burn tax. And what this should do is ideally be used in the future to help incentivize businesses who help increase the value of our investment. So Terra Luna Classic, USDC, different things in our ecosystem, right? The Terra Luna Classic ecosystem. And so the idea here is as we get L2 development, maybe we can actually whitelist them from having to pay the on-chain transaction tax, and that would help incentivize them to burn more Terra Luna Classic to build up volume in our ecosystem. Now, another major update is that L1 task force is actually looking to get some advice from different legal advice and other places around things like the TFL Do Kwon lawsuit from the SEC, as well as just general coming regulation for cryptocurrency, which is something that we need to have. We need to have some insight and some clarification as to how we can handle these different situations. Now, these last three key points are a little bit more on the philosophical front. One thing that we really need to consider is that we're competing with other blockchains. Terra Luna Classic ecosystem, we're competing with the other ecosystems, not just in the cosmos, but in all blockchains, thousands of different blockchains out there, and we need more funding. Funding could be used not just for L1 development, but also L2 development, advertising, and other expenses like researching legal issues like the Do Kwon TFL situation. We need money for all of this, and right now we are extremely underfunded. We can barely pay for the L1 development, and it's important that we do this and we expand because the L1 dev team on their own, they cannot enable a repeg for USDC. They cannot make Terra Luna Classic pump in price. Really what has to happen here is we need volume from utilities because, for example, the burn tax does nothing if we don't have volume. If we don't have volume to actually be burning Terra Luna Classic, there's no point whether the tax is 0.2%, 1%, 5%, it doesn't matter because if we don't have volume to actually burn, then the tax does nothing. And so that's why we need development to build out things beyond just our infrastructure, right? The L1 dev team, they're building the roads in this example, but we need cars to actually drive on the roads. Otherwise, what is the point of building the roads? If you don't have the cars or different utilities actually using the infrastructure, there's no point in having that infrastructure. It does nothing. There's no value being created by it being there. Now, something that was not touched on in this conversation really, and I reached out to LUNC Burn Army about this, is funding for Q2. We're coming up on Q2, and so we need to prepare ourselves potentially for this next funding round. Maybe it's not going to be $150,000. It very well could be higher. Maybe it's $200,000. We don't really know. Now, we did complete a major update to the Terra Luna Classic ecosystem just last night. In Terra Luna Classic price right now, we're up about 1% on 24 hours, so we're definitely making some nice progress forward, but we did have some difficulties with that update going through. Some things still are not working entirely correctly, so hopefully that will be resumed very shortly, and I'll be sure to have an update video when that happens. If you guys don't want to miss out on that important information, as well as the Binance burns that we can expect to see very soon, that'll spike this Terra Luna Classic burn, hopefully over 45 billion total Terra Luna Classic. Be sure to subscribe so you guys don't miss out on that information. If you want to learn as to how much Binance might actually burn very soon here within the next couple hours, check out this video up here, and I'll catch you on the next one.